Welcome to another Post Status Happiness Hour. I'm Michelle Frechette. I am here today with Alex Dandiford. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hey Michelle, how's it going?
It's going well, and I see that you have your logo right next to your name, and so you're gonna have to tell me later how you did that because I'm like, I didn't know that was possible. So, is that your logo, or is that like the standard emoji?
Yeah, that's the secret. It's the mermaid
Okay.
emoji. So I just
Ah,
slap that on the end of my name everywhere I can.
I love it. I'm gonna emojify myself now. Is that a
There,
word?
that's
Emojify?
it is now.
It is not. That's right, for sure. Well, welcome to the Post Status Happiness Hour.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
thanks for
today
having me.
we make you and other people happy. Talk about the things that
Hopefully.
we do in the world. So, we're also recording this, so this will go on our website and in our YouTube channel for all of posterity. So people can reflect back on it later if they're not able to be here today. So you are here. You have recently gone full bore with
Yeah, I did.
Siren Affiliates. So tell us a little bit about Siren Affiliates and what it is.
Sure. So Siren is at its most basic level is an affiliate plugin, right? I mean, but calling it that is kind of an insult to what it's capable of doing. It's a pay for performance platform, so you can build. Not only can you build affiliate programs, but you can also build a royalty program. So maybe you wanted to create like an Etsy clone, or you wanted to create your own Udemy using WordPress. You could do that with Lifter and have like multiple course creators and pay them for whenever their courses are sold, for example. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Basically anything where you want to pay other people who work with you whenever they successfully do something like sell a product or something like that. But it doesn't even have to just be selling products. It could even
Mm-hmm.
be a distribution where maybe you wanted to do a bonus once a month based on a revenue share or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all kinds of different programs this plugin can do, and it allows you to do multiple programs at the same time. So if you wanted to have like a small affiliate program and then maybe a bonus program for specific products to like motivate people to sell certain things, you can do
Mm-hmm.
that, and then the person could get credit for both of those programs. The sky's the limit in regards to that. My goal really, whenever I built this plugin, is to make it to where if there's a incentive program that you want to create for your website, Siren can do
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty cool. So does it activate on a trigger? So like if I make a sale, it triggers a payment or that kind of thing, or is it held for moderation? Can it be either or? Talk us through a little bit of the specifics.
Yeah, sure. So it works through a flow of several steps right now. So I've thought about making it to where it can do the instant payout, an instant payout kind of approach, but
Mm-hmm.
I find that most people want it for at least for auditing purposes and things like that.
Right.
They want to have that paper trail, right? So
Which makes sense, yeah.
yeah, totally. So the a typical program. So there's two different ones. There's a program that'll run. It's all about revolving around a sale. So whenever a sale happens on the website, that's the trigger that the entire program revolves around, right? So there's things that
Okay.
happen before the trail or the purchase, and then whenever the purchase happens, that's kind of like the event that says, okay, this happened. Here's how much money the various affiliates or collaborators can get. Of course, it could be more
Sure.
than one, right?
Yeah, true.
And then the other one is time based. So maybe it's like once every month, it's going to take a look at the aggregate totals of maybe the total number of sales of a specific product. And it's going to say, oh, hey, you know, your course or whatever your product was sold this many times. We're going to give you a 10% bonus for that or something like that.
Okay.
Um, and either way, they all of those things get funneled into what I call obligations or rewards. And basically,
Mm-hmm.
those just sit in the WordPress dashboard as a Siren manager. You can go in there and you can look at those and you can see who you owe, how much you owe,
Yeah.
and then there's a full on payout flow that happens after
Okay.
that. So you can actually generate a payout. Like for example, with mine, I have a fair bit of ones that I actually owe money for right now, just because over the next couple, because I have some affiliates who've been selling Siren, right? So over
Yay!
the yay, yeah. So over the next and dog fooding,
I was
over
gonna
the
say you're using
next
your own plugin. I love
yeah, right, right. So over the next, I have a 30-day return window for
it. Okay.
Siren. So I don't want to pay my affiliates until that 30-day window is done, just in case
Mm-hmm.
there's something goes wrong, right?
Sure, that makes sense.
So after that 30 days up, I'm going to go into my site. I'm going to select all of the obligations that I have that are older, that are 30 days and older. And then I can generate a payout from those, and it'll automatically tally up how much I owe every collaborator, and then allows me to export that as a CSV file or something like that, so that you can use it for PayPal or whatever.
Okay. Does it automatically connect to PayPal, or is it giving you the information to do that later?
Today, it's only exporting. It is
Okay.
I am going to do the payout thing because, again, dog fooding, I'm going to want that
Sure.
myself.
For
So
sure. Yeah.
it's been on the roadmap since day
Oh,
one.
nice.
But I every time I plan on doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, but maybe one more e-commerce integration.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
I can imagine. And so, and if you're not using PayPal or Stripe, it gives you that right now the opportunity to use whatever you're using.
Yeah, and
You can
another
write
thing
bigger
is
checks if that's the way you want to do it, right?
exactly. Exactly. So, and a lot of people, I'm finding, are using this. I've actually had several people who are telling me, I'm using this with my like formal business partner. Like literally, we are splitting the profits of this 50-50 or some kind of relationship like that. But we wanted to like have some kind of thing where some of these there's terms in our agreement where some products are at a different rate and stuff like that. And they wanted a way to just manage that whole thing. And they're actually using Siren for that. So those kinds of people, like they don't really want that, right? They actually just want to be able, like they literally are just writing each other checks, right?
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different approaches there. But yeah, I definitely want a Stripe. I personally want a Stripe integration like yesterday.
I'm
But
imagining that every conversation you have with somebody like me or other business owners and things like that, you are now like adding toggles
oh
in
my
your
gosh, yeah,
dashboard, in your head, like, okay, this would be great to toggle on or off. This would be great to have as a toggle, like not to automatically have it go, but oh, we should integrate that, but it has to be a toggle.
yes, yeah. It's oh my gosh, it's when it comes to features right now for me, it's like it's like a Hydra head. Every time I cut one off, two more pop up, and
I believe
you
that.
know, I'm trying, and I'm early in the process, and like I know conventional wisdom says to like, you know, pace myself, but gosh, I don't
Right.
want to.
It's so hard, right? It's so
Yeah,
hard for
totally.
sure. Absolutely. No, I understand that. And it's like, I have a roadmap, but it doesn't mean I have to go 30 miles an hour. I can go 100 miles an hour if I want to.
Right, exactly.
I'm
I have
still
a
on
road.
the road.
For me, it's more like I have a roadmap, but there's also shiny things. So
That's
yeah,
right.
it's like, you know, maybe
For
I'll take this
sure.
detour to go look at that ball of yarn off 66. You know, something like that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just gonna put this up here. If we do have a couple of people watching live, if you're watching live and you're on our YouTube channel, go ahead and put any questions or comments you have for Alex or me in the chat, and we'll make sure that we get them answered. Just want to make sure that I put that up there. And I should put a banner that has. Tell you what, when you're showing the product, I'm gonna make a banner that has your logo on it, or not? Well, not your logo. That will have your email. What's the word I want? URL.
website. Yeah,
Website, yes, on it. It's been a long
good.
day, Alex.
Yeah, I get it. Oh my gosh,
yeah. So that people have more information. So I'll put that there. Cool. But yeah, so when did you first think of building this product? How long ago versus like where you are today? Because like, for example, I had the idea for WP speakers for like 2 months. And then I was just like on a Monday night, I was like, I'm going to build this thing. And on Wednesday, I launched it. Like, I mean, it wasn't as complex. I'm not a developer. I got to use Cadence. You know, it was a lot easier to do. But I'm sure that you didn't build it in a day and a half. So so what was your roadmap to this point? And when did you start?
So honestly, I would say the roadmap for this started, like 2016. I mean, I didn't start building it then, but I had what I would consider a rough prototype. Like my first idea of an alternative program on my website that wasn't an affiliate program, right? It was a blog content bonus program for my agency that I was running at the time. And I was frustrated because I couldn't do it with affiliate WP. And you know, I was a developer at the time for that product, and so I knew it well. And just the effort that it took to actually make that happen, it was like I was really bending that plugin to my will. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there was just a lot of customizations I had to do. And I'm not trying to bash on the plugin. I'm just, but it was one of those things I just couldn't do. There wasn't really a great solution in WordPress for that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think much about it at the time. But fast forward several years, right? I'm no longer at Affiliate WP. I've been gone for several years. I'm working at a different place, and I'm having a conversation with Chris at Lifter LMS, and we're talking, and I was just like, man, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to do a product. I think I'm ready to like dive into this.
Sure.
I was talking with my coach who I had just hired at the time, and I was like, and his advice was, go talk to some of the people, and you're well networked. Go talk to the people in your network. Go find some people, and ask them, like, hey, you run a product company. What are some things that your product needs? I want to build them and sell them, basically. And
Sure.
and I did that. I struck out on a few that, there were people who were like, no, I'm not telling you that, or something, or they would give me something that wasn't relevant to what I was going to do. But
Mhm.
Chris at Lifter was very forthcoming, and he was just like, oh, yeah, man, I've got so many things that we need. And he gave
Sure.
me this list of like all these different ideas, and one of them was a better affiliate solution for Lifter.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I think I might be a really good fit for that. And it was like um Stephen King says, like two unrelated ideas coming together wrote some of his best books, right?
Sure.
So, and
Yeah.
it kind of was that, where it was like I had this problem with my solution, my need for something, and he had these problems, and they were different, right? And it was coming from a very different perspective in a very different place. But I looked at it and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can bridge this gap, right? I can solve both of these problems. And that was last August. So
Okay.
basically I discovered this, I realized this, and I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And I launched May of this year, and almost a year to the day, I launched the Lifter LMS integration with his
Oh, that's
product.
cool.
And yeah, so it was cool. So it was a long time coming, but it certainly felt longer. Gosh, it was quite the grind. But
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm over that. Although I do have to admit, it didn't get less crazy. It's just crazy in a very different way.
Isn't that the way it always is though? It's like you
Yeah.
think of a solution for something and then like you said it's like the hydrate. It spawns so many more. There's
Yes.
a a Giphy or GIF, I don't know, whatever, where like there's a hand and there's like more fingers come more hands off the fingers and more hands off those fingers. And that's what it makes me think. It was like I have this idea. It is the
Yeah.
palm. And look at all the other ideas. Oh, and look at how those have spawned ideas. And it's just giant root system of
Yeah.
this.
It
Yeah.
feels to me like climbing a mountain, and then I get to the top of the mountain expecting to see a big horizon, and then I look in front of me and I see a mountain that's 10 times bigger than what I originally just climbed. Like that's kind of what it feels like. It's like, oh, okay.
So
Well,
funny story.
yeah, right.
I little aside. So I am not a heights person.
Uh-huh.
I can be at the top of the CN Tower and look down through the floor, like that's fine. But it's what I'm actually hanging like from the gondola that goes up the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Don't like that. And so years ago, with my ex-husband, went up to a Whiteface Mountain, which is one of the taller mountains in the Adirondacks,
Mhm.
and that they one of the ones that they used for the Lake Placid Olympics.
Northeastern
So
Adirondacks, where all
yeah,
the goods
so
are.
I'm exactly. So I'm
Yeah.
looking up and I'm like, okay, that doesn't look too far. I can do that. So we get on this gondola and I'm like white knuckled and I'm just trying not to cry because I just have this fear, right? It's like
Mhm.
it's not rational. I agree. We get to the point where I think we're at the top. We level off and there's like 5 times more mountain that we still have to go up. So yes, you just triggered that memory. Thank you.
Yeah. Whoops.
But yes, it is exactly like that when you start
That's
working on a
funny.
product or project.
Yeah,
So
I get that.
yeah. So that made me think of that right away. Just in case anybody's, I'm going to go ahead and put the look at. I managed to get
You did
your
it. You got
your
that
mermaid in there
Amazon mermaid.
too. So yeah, so sirenaffiliates.com if you're interested in exploring more. But why don't you show us a little bit? I can bring up your screen up here and walk us through a little bit.
Sure. Okay. So, whenever you have Siren installed, this current install happens to have Lifter installed, which has a few different, which allows it to have a few different engagement events and allows you to create some different programs. If you were using, but I'm also currently Siren supports Lifter LMS and WooCommerce.
Okay.
I'm working on Easy Digital Downloads as well as North Commerce now.
Mhm.
And then I have my eyes set on a certain other course platform that You
Is
may
it
or may not know.
LearnDash? Please
Yeah,
tell me it's LearnDash.
I would like to. Yeah, I'd love to. That's
We'll
that's
talk
on
later.
the list. Yes. Another less public time perhaps.
Yes.
But anyway, so over here you'll see there's a siren. There's siren, and there's all these different options. There's programs, there's distributors, there's collaborators, all these different things. But really, what I want to show here is kind of the key thing about siren, which is its key differentiator is it has a multi-course approach to affiliate management. So let's go ahead and delete these test ones because we don't need those bad boys. Okay, so so if you are coming from a space where you've worked with some kind of traditional affiliate plugin before, this concept doesn't exist because the plugin itself is the program, right? Those plugins, they give you an affiliate program. They give you one specific solution and one specific thing. They might have extensions. They might have things that allow you to like customize those plugins or those your one program in some kind of special way, but they don't really have a way to be able to do more than one program at a time.
Okay.
And a couple of the consequences of that is they end up spreading out all of their settings throughout the plugin. So, for example, maybe you want to have a certain set of affiliates who have a different rate. Maybe instead of being paid 15%, maybe they're like super special affiliates or something like that. And you want to give them 20% instead of 15%, right?
Okay.
You've
You've negotiated a different rate with them. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're they're a plugin partner, or they're on some kind of different level inside your company.
They're super influencers.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. You would have to go on those plugins. You go to that specific person, or you put them in a group, an affiliate group, or something like that, and you set their rate, right? And they're able to do that. Siren takes all of that concept and the idea of different rates on products, different rates on collaborators, different rates on all this stuff in different terms, and it flips it all on its head. And it says, instead of managing this stuff, instead of a collaborator having, or instead of an affiliate having a rate, and instead of a product having a rate, and all of these different things, we're going to centralize all of this. Everything is through the program. The program has a rate, and you can have more than one program, and affiliates in this case, can be in as many programs as they want to be in. This allows you to create programs with different rates, right? And then add certain collaborators to those different programs, thereby giving them the special rate or the different rate. But it also gives you the added benefit of also allowing you to have programs that stack on top of each other. So maybe you want to have like I said earlier, where you have a program where it's like a 10%, and then on top of that, you also want to, for specific products, right? Maybe you have a specific category that you offer like a $5 bonus if it sells on top of that. You can do that, and one affiliate can get both of those on a single transaction. So it allows you to like not only manage your programs a little bit easier because it's all centralized, but it also allows you to break down the complexity of a monolithic affiliate program into smaller pieces so that you can actually manage it a lot easier.
It almost sounds like you can be all things to all people if you need to be.
That is the goal. Like I said, my goal with Siren is if there's an incentive program, it can do it.
Gotcha.
And I am very, very close, I think. Like I today I had a support request for somebody asking me about a specific type of program that they wanted to run. And I was like, oh, you got me. I can't do that one yet, but I know exactly how to do it and how to implement it in the system I have. And I was like, I got you. I'm gonna do it. It's on the roadmap. Shiny object, yarn ball. Let's go.
I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah, right. I'll have it tomorrow. Exactly. And what are you talking about? I've been working at this whole live stream. Okay. So in the create program screen, you've got your name. So we'll just call it an affiliate program. Maybe my keyboard isn't working right now. Hold on.
Oh no.
No, that's how it goes. Well, I'm telling myself it's my keyboard. Is it my keyboard? No, yeah, it is totally my keyboard. Hold on a sec. Let me.
No worries. This is what happens when it's live. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
It's all good.
Yeah, live streams are dynamic.
So, as I said, if you do have questions, put them in the comments. We're gonna get Alex to answer them live. And the link for Siren Affiliates is simply sirenaffiliates.com. I love it when there's
Yeah.
a link that's so easy.
Yeah,
We're connected again. Go for it.
Yes. Okay. So, so let's call this an affiliate program,
Mhm.
right? You can give it a description. So pays, they generate a sales. I've done this before. Okay. So you can set the status. You can also set the currency to any kind of currency based on whatever you're paying in.
Mhm.
It doesn't actually do the conversion. It's currently assuming that whatever you're putting in this is. So if you're selling products in U.S. dollars and you want to sell in euro, it's not going to convert that for you. So you'd have to use fixed pricing or stuff like that.
Okay.
But the reason why the big thing that's exciting about the currency is that in a future version, it's actually on my roadmap for this month is to to make it possible to do store credit. So if
Okay.
you have so one of the things that North Commerce has been talking with me about is that. So the idea of you can, instead of setting a currency here as US dollars, you could set it as
Store
uh,
credit.
store credit for North Commerce
Nice.
or store credit or whatever, right? I haven't quite figured out exactly what the terminology is, but
Mhm.
the idea here is that you could pick that currency here and you could create like a refer a friend program, right? So
Gotcha.
all of your customers then instantly become collaborators who can then sign up for the refer a friend program, and they're only on that program. They're not a part of the affiliate program and all that other
Mhm.
stuff, but they're on this one. So if they refer a friend, they get $50 in store
Oh,
credit or
that's
something
cool.
like that.
So if somebody's selling in pesos, though, the payout is also pesos. So
Yes.
if they're even there, that's the same. Okay,
Yeah,
just making
totally.
sure.
So then you can set an expiration time. So this is kind of like a cookie window. So if you're creating a typical affiliate program, right, you don't want to say, so like I'll take a step back real quick. An affiliate program works by an influencer or a blogger or something like that. They'll share a link with people, and you've probably seen these links before where it's got a special little code at the end of it.
Mhm.
And that code basically tells the website, hey, this was referred by this specific affiliate, right?
Mhm.
And that's how it tracks it. That's how it knows. And then if the person who actually clicked on that link then turns around and makes a purchase, time passes. It could be 2 minutes. It could be 60 days. It could be 2 years. Doesn't matter. As long as they make a purchase, that person, that affiliate, would actually get the commission. They would get the reward. They would get credit.
Gotcha.
But the problem is that the 2 year example and those numbers I said there, that's like really far in the future. And did that affiliate really actually make that sale happen, or did it just happen to be a link that got clicked 2 years prior to, and here we are?
Gotcha.
So you kind of want to set a limit on how long you can wait before you invalidate that credit, right?
Like a 30
So,
days or even a year if you want to, right? So it
yeah,
does.
totally.
Okay.
Totally, exactly. It doesn't have to be like short. It can be as
Yeah.
long as you want. A common one is 30 days. So we'll just do 30 for this. So basically, that's saying that from the time they click on the link to the time they make the purchase. Let me say that again. From the time they click on the link, they have 30 days to make the purchase in order for you to be able to get credit for that sale, right?
Gotcha.
So that's not relevant to all programs, but this specific program, it certainly is.
Okay.
Then you can set a program structure. So the program structure actually defines who gets paid and how much. Who gets paid and how that is divided out, right?
Okay.
Because some programs in Siren can actually divide the money among many affiliates instead of just being a single one. But in this case, we would just use probably newest engagement wins or oldest engagement wins. And basically what that means is, do we want to pay the last affiliate who referred this visitor before the sale, or do we want to reward the first affiliate?
Gotcha.
So because it's possible that two affiliates could refer one customer before they actually
Sure.
make that purchase. So who do you reward, right?
Mhm.
So that this helps you determine that, right? This allows you so newest engagement and oldest engagement, shared engagement pool. Newest and oldest reward one.
Mhm.
Top score wins also rewards one. And then shared engagement pool and performance weighted pool actually would divide the money among all of them. So if you had
Okay.
like 5 affiliates who referred somebody, you could actually use shared engagement pool, and it would just divide the commission among all of them evenly.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted to game the system, make sure that only my link gets used, could I tell somebody open it in an incognito window? Will that bypass all of this? I mean, not that I'm trying to game the system or anything.
Yeah, technically, I think that might work. Because yeah, technically.
Is it based on cookies or yeah?
Yeah, it's based on cookie. The opportunity ID is based on cookies.
Just curious.
So, but
curious.
if they're already logged into a site, if they're an existing customer or something like that, that wouldn't work. It wouldn't matter because once the purchase is made, their account logs in and we know who you are.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
But fraud detection, there's things like that you got to kind of work around.
Just curious, yeah.
So then you have engagement tracking events, and these are the events that actually happen on the plugin. I'm sorry, these are the events that actually happen in order for the collaborator to earn their reward. These are the things they have to do, right? Mm-hmm. Or they have to make happen. So there's several of these, right? There's site visited, blog post visited, a collaborator's product is sold, coupon code used, a course is completed, or a lesson is completed, right? So course completed and lesson completed are specific to LMS systems, right? So you can set it up to where you reward your course creators whenever somebody completes their course, right? Or something like that. But in the case of an affiliate program, what you really want is that what they need to do is drive somebody to the site using their affiliate link, or they're going to use a coupon code, right? It's going to be one of those two things. So we'll go ahead and tick site visited and coupon code used. And you'll see here that this little value box pops up whenever you tick those boxes. And what that does is it allows you to specify a value, like how much doing that specific action is worth. Not in dollars, not in money, but in terms of just points, right? And the system behind the scenes can track those point values to figure out who gets paid and how much they get paid. This isn't relevant, and these only apply to the different program structures. So let's say you're using top score wins, right? So maybe instead of it being the first affiliate, it's the affiliate who drove that visitor the most times or something like that, right? You could do that. So you could say that's worth a point if they drive a visitor to the site. If the coupons code's used, that's worth 5 points. It's a lot more of a loose. Like, this isn't the best example of this, but
it shows how it's weighted. Yeah,
exactly. It allows you to apply a weight to these different things if that is relevant to the program that you're building. So then, like course completed and lesson completed could get a lot of use out of that, right? So if you were doing like a really long sales cycle where maybe you actually have an entire course that needs to be done before the product can be sold, maybe there's some onboarding or some pre-sales, and you're using an LMS system to actually do that pre-sales education, and that course creator is the actual collaborator, you could give them points for that, right? And then so like let's build that example. So maybe there's a performance rated pool and you have a whole bunch of affiliates, right? And some of those affiliates are also creating course content to drive sales, right? So you could actually do course completed and lesson completed, and maybe when the course is completed, you give like 50 points. The lessons completed, it's like 10 points. Maybe site visited is worth 5, and a coupon code is like 10, right? Something like that. So then when it's done, and maybe you're selling this would be a high dollar product, right? Several $1,000s, big sales process. Whenever the sale is done, it would then say, okay, well, here's all of the things that this customer did in their journey to actually making this purchase. Here's all the points that were tallied up. Based on that, the percentage that the course creator gets is this, like the cut of the reward they get is higher than the affiliate, right? Because they went through the whole course and that was worth a whole lot of points for them to do that. So like there's different ways, and obviously like more complexity in this, the easier it is to game, like you were talking about. So you got to be a little careful. But there's a lot of
assume people are honest.
I mean, honestly, a good a good affiliate program, in my opinion, a really good affiliate program is probably like that kind of one. You're probably not having thousands of affiliates. You
Right.
probably would have a very small sales team of, a dozen or so people
You
that
want
are
to
all
vet your
working together.
affiliates anyway, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
totally, absolutely. So yeah, if you're asking questions about fraud and you're dealing with fraud a lot, then you're probably
Your system's
that raises
broken.
a whole nother that's a whole nother conversation.
It's not your plugin that's broken, it's your system
That's
that's broken at that point.
absolutely,
Gotcha. Sure.
absolutely. So yeah, we're playing a game, and ultimately there's going to be cheaters. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
have to make
Yeah.
sure that you're working with honest people. So and then the next thing is the incentive structure. So what this does is it determines how much money is going to be available to the collaborators who actually win, right? Who actually
Sure.
are getting the reward. In the case of one, obviously they would get it all. In the case where it's divided, it would get divided among all of them.
Sure.
So you can do fixed per product, fixed per transaction, or percentage of transaction.
Okay.
And they're kind of self-explanatory, right? So fixed per
Sure.
product, if you have 10 items in your cart, it's going to pay you that whatever this value is here. So if we had this to 20, it would pay you $20 for 10 of those products. So it would be a pretty big commission in that case, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Or you could do fixed per transaction, one single fixed number every time a transaction happens. Or the most common one probably is percentage. So you can the thing that's nice about percentage is it scales really well, right? So like
so if you have $2 products and $2,000 products, it's a percentage, not
right.
Yeah. Sure.
Right,
Makes
exactly.
sense.
But I like the idea of fixed per product a lot too, because on top as like an extra incentive, I like to use that one for a really good example that it comes to mind for me is like, let's say you're running a clothing shop online or something like that, and you have some kind of article of clothing, maybe it's a pair of shorts or something, and winter is nigh, right? And summer's past, and you still have all these shorts and you need to get rid of them. And so you're going to do this big sale to make them. You could either one do a big sale and do this big marketing push and all this stuff to make the stuff go away, or you could create a program that's specifically targeting that one specific pair of pants, notify all of your influencers or your collaborators and say, hey, I created a program, and every pair of shorts that you pay, I'm going to give you a $10 bonus on top of your commission, right?
Gotcha.
So it's this extra incentive. It doesn't have to be permanent, right? That's the thing that's neat about these is like you can add them as you see fit, do whatever you want with them.
Move inventory.
Right, yeah, and get that dang inventory out there. Exactly. Move that inventory. It's not doing you any good in your storage. So all right, so let's say that we went with a percentage of transaction. Let's just go with like a 25%. Now here you can specify, do you want to credit your conversions for both sales, referral, or referrals? Like, so I'm sorry, sales or renewals. Yeah. So in other words, a sale would just be a traditional sale, right? I bought this thing, I'm going to go use this thing.
Right.
A renewal is for memberships or subscriptions.
Subscriptions,
right?
yeah.
So any sale that happens after that initial first sale is considered a renewal. So if you wanted to create a recurring commission program, affiliate program, you could do that, right? You could say, I'm going to pay you 25%. Like in this case right here, the way this is set, it would be, I'm paying you 25% for life as long as this person is paying me, right?
Sure. The sale and then the renewals, subsequent renewals.
Right, exactly. Now, what's really cool about this is, again, multi-program approach. There's a really cool opportunity here that is not easy to do with other solutions is you can do 25% for sales and then create a second program that's identical to this one. The only difference is it's only for renewals.
Okay.
And then you lower
so it could be a lower percentage.
So now you can say, so now you're motivating your affiliates to generate those sales. They get a big bonus for that, and then they get a smaller bonus for the recurring. Or maybe you have a whole different team that is focused on keeping those customers from helping reduce churn and all of that stuff.
There's not a lot of work that has to go into selling a renewal. Like an affiliate salesperson isn't really doing much. They're not calling like, hey, are you going to renew that? So
in fact, you'll actually hear people will say that it hurts them from a sales perspective, because you'll get these salespeople who go in for that recurring, and then they'll get enough customers that they're comfortable and they don't really need to sell anymore. So I mean, that's cool, right? That's cool and all, but it's also kind of not, it's counterintuitive to what you're trying to do, right? It's doing the opposite. So Yeah.
Now,
So
can I
there's
ask?
definitely-
Can I interrupt to ask another question though?
Sure, by all means.
So, if I want to change the incentive structure, let's say the percentage
Mhm.
for a limited time, let's say I wanted to say in the month of November leading up to Black Friday sales,
Mhm.
usually we give 30%, but only this time I'm going to do 40%. Can I do
Yep.
that at a set? Okay.
Yeah, you totally could. So you could the way I would do it though is instead of changing your program, your normal one, I would actually create another program and add the extra percent on top of that. The reason
makes sense.
why is paper trail again. So
Yeah.
on the back end, whenever you look at all those sales and stuff like that, it would actually show 2 rewards instead of one for the regular program and then one for the bonus on top of that.
And
So
you
you get
also
a
don't
lot
have
more.
to forget to reset it afterwards either. That's
Right,
the other
exactly,
thing.
exactly. But then, and it also kind of gives you a little bit more clarity. It just adds more clarity to it because it's like,
Sure.
oh, there's why is that percentage
It's
different?
so clean.
There's no
Yeah.
question, right? Now there's 2. Oh, I didn't get this one this time. Why is that? Oh, because that sale is done.
They
right?
also got the Black Friday one. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
It adds a lot of extra clarity.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and put this back to that 25% for just for sales. Now, the last piece here is what that says including commission calculations. Basically, what this does is it makes it to where you can, it allows you to specify what parts of the transaction is actually going to be used whenever we're calculating the value of the commission, right? Because our commissions are typically going to be, are always, in fact, the transaction is always a part of that, right? Programs inherently in Siren revolve around a transaction. If they don't, then that's going to be a different thing called a distribution. But in this case, they always revolve around a transaction. So in this case, let's say that there's multiple pieces to a transaction, right? There's the discount, there's any discounts that were used, right? That would subtract from the value. There's fees for like say you have a subscription and you want to charge a sign-up fee, right? That's an example of a fee. You have line items, which is the stuff that's actually bought. You have shipping sometimes, and then you also have taxes.
Sure.
So this allows you to figure out what parts of that transaction you actually want to pay commissions on. You're probably not paying on taxes. You're probably not paying on shipping, but you're almost always going to be paying on discounts, fees, and line items.
That makes sense.
And whenever you tick line items here, you can see it actually allows you to specify different categories and SKUs and types. So this allows you to filter out which products are actually used for this program. So let's say we only wanted to include for this the example of the shorts as we gave earlier, right? So let's say that in that case, right now, if I tick all 3 of these like this program applies to every single product in our system, right?
Gotcha.
But let's say that we don't. We only want it to apply to those shorts. So what we would do then is we could say with any of those SKUs, we know the SKU of those shorts, and if we don't, we just add one, right? So then you would just say, shorts, whatever. So now this program will only work for those shorts, even if there were multiple items that was in the cart. So if there was like a whole bunch of stuff, maybe they bought socks and a shirt and a jacket and all this stuff, but they also bought those shorts. The only thing in that transaction would still apply, but the only part of that one that will apply are the shorts, right? So it's still going to trigger it. It's just not going to trigger the whole transaction. It's only going to trigger for those shorts.
Right, because that's the item you're really trying to move and trying to incentivize.
Exactly. So that's how that works there. So with all of that, you're setting up your program. I mean, well, and just like that, we've set up a basic affiliate program, right? 30 days, newest engagement wins, site visited, coupon code used, percentage of transaction, and then only for shorts. Let's actually get rid of that. There we go. So, and then you just click create, and it will create the program. And then from here, we can actually add our collaborators to this program. So I have no idea what collaborators are in here right now. Oh, good. I have okay. So
let's say you wanted to add somebody. You put in their information in. You can add me.
So you can click add new. So we'll add Michelle.
You don't have to type my last name. It's okay.
Thank you. Gosh.
I didn't put it on the screen. I was
That,
going to see if
that
you
was
could
a great
spell it.
read.
I'm
Did
kidding.
you? I don't know if you saw me look over at the screen. I was like, "What is her last name?" I can't spell
I can say it, but I don't know it. Yeah.
it. Right.
I'm Michelle at Post Status. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, it's just as simple as just doing that. So
Super easy.
and then
Yeah.
I can add you to a program. I can
Yep.
set your status, and I can click create. That's it.
And there I am.
Yeah, and then if I wanted to add Brad and Steve later, I could do that just by doing a bulk action here and clicking add to program, and then I can
very
pick which
cool.
program, and now they're a part of that program as well.
Nice.
Now, what's and there's different flows for this, right? I actually have a form that's a block that allows you to kind of automate some of that stuff. But honestly, I've personally found that there's an application process for this anyway, so the automation aspect of that is kind of limited on how valuable it is, in my opinion. So I find that it is probably more valuable to just create a form using the Forms plugin of choice to have an application, and then once the application comes in, you look at it, and then you just manually add them like I just did. And then if you actually had a user, as long as it matches this email, it would automatically set it up to where you could see your dashboard, your dashboard from there. But if you don't have a user and I just added you as a collaborator, I can also send you a login email right here. And if I click apply, it would actually shoot you an email. Yeah, and then you would go, it would walk you through, it would say, hey, this person is trying to create this affiliate account. Is this actually you? Right? And you validate it. And then it sends you another email so that you can actually set your username and password in WordPress using the normal WordPress flow. So all of that works. Alternatively, if you wanted to just manually create the user, you could do that too. So there's a few. So now we've added them to a program, and then the other end of this are distributors, which is kind of like a program, but it's retroactive. So a program is everything that happens that leads up to a sale. A distributor is everything aggregate that happened over the past certain period of time. And then that is used to figure out how much is being distributed, right? How much is being paid. So you'll see it's very similar. So in this case, maybe it's we'll do a profit share, right? And this is something that's really common to use for, let's say you have a membership site with course creators, or maybe it's a membership site with like a gym, right? And you have different trainers, and they're signing people up to different classes and stuff like that, and you happen to be using some kind of e-commerce solution through WordPress. Siren can actually track your gym trainer's performance on how many people they're getting to sign up to training classes and how much their attendance is, and actually you can associate their bonus with that performance, right, with Siren. And that's kind of what the distributor does. So you do a profit share, maybe we'll say pays course creators based on performance, right? Set the status. You can set the revenue percentage. So we'll say do like a 10%. So basically that's saying 10% of the revenue that applies to this distributor over the last however long, we're going to pay out, right? And you'll see down here, you'll see that including commission pool. This is very similar to the transaction thing that we saw with programs, right? So you can filter which products actually apply to this. So 10% of the products that we say are relevant to this.
Gotcha.
Then we can trigger it as often as we want, maybe monthly on the 1st or something like that.
Sure.
All the tracking events look a lot like a program, right? All the different things that have to happen. But this time the points make a lot more sense, right? So maybe a course, maybe in the context of a profit share, you have course completed and lesson completed. So maybe every time a course is completed, we're going to give you 10 points. Every time a lesson's completed, we'll give you 1, right? So this incentivizes our course creators to get people to get our existing members to watch their content, to get value out of their membership, right? This is the kind of thing that helps reduce churn. This is how we're able to incentivize. This is how companies like Udemy, for example, actually incentivize their course creators to actually give their course away for free for those Udemy members who are paying a monthly membership, right? They're paying like a 25% distribution based on the number of minutes those videos are watched. Their videos are watched. So you can do that, and then you can specify the incentive structure, right? Top score wins. Obviously, you could do a single bonus, right? Whoever sells the most products in this month will get all the money, right? The full thing. You could do a shared engagement pool or performance weighted pool. So shared would obviously be anybody who's even participating in this at all will get an equal share. Performance weighted pool is so cool though. So what this does is it takes this percentage, this number, their total point value, and it uses that to figure out how big of that revenue share they would get. So like if I go to, so I actually built this thing to help me illustrate this. So let's say you have a shared pool, right? And you have, I don't know, 20, we'll do 10. You have 10 course creators, right? So 10 payees here. Those are your course creators, right? And you, over the course of a year, or over the course of, I don't know, it doesn't matter. For this distribution, was earning how many? $100,000, right? So some kind of large number there. And you're paying 25% of that, right? Not 26. There we go. So it's going to be a $25,000 payout to all of them. Now, if it's equal, they each get $2,500 a piece, right?
Sure.
But in the case of a distribution pool, the performance weighted pool, we are actually going to calculate how big of a share they get based on how many points they scored during that period, based on how many times the members completed courses and completed lessons. And so if I add this little bias here, this kind of simulates that.
Right? Oh yeah,
so you can see like, so this person did a lot of the work or got the overwhelming majority of the points, right? So they get a much bigger payout than the person who did less, right? So this allows you to kind of incentivize people to
it's almost a contest at that point. Yeah, like how much of it can, I mean, not a bad contest, it's incentivized contest, which is a good thing. Yeah,
absolutely. So this allows you to create something like that. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, even sites like Udemy, for example, this isn't the sole source of income, right? Like it could be, but it's a little, it could get a little tricky, right? I mean, if you think about it, I guess like sites like YouTube are kind of this anyway, right?
Sure.
The people who get the most views get the most money. It's you can build a program like that with this. And then of course the included in the commission pool, this allows you to specify what products are actually relevant to that calculation. And in this case, we would only want subscriptions, right? We only want to calculate that revenue. We don't really want to calculate every time a course is sold in this revenue, because that's not a part of this. We only want to give you a revenue share of the membership subscriptions.
Okay.
So we can do that there. And then we can create that. Hopefully I added everything right. It's kind of all over the place there.
There it is.
Yeah, and then I can go in and add these people to that distributor, just like I did with the program.
Oh, very cool.
There we go. So now they're a part of the profit share and a part of the affiliate program.
Nice.
So that's like a real quick.
I better start selling, man. Now that I'm in that pool.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, that's kind of a, I mean, that's a lightning quick demo.
Yeah,
of the key things about Siren. The biggest thing, like I said, that excites me about it is just all the possibilities. Whenever I have one-on-ones with my customers, because whenever you buy Siren, you can actually get a one-on-one. I ask people, hey, schedule a one-on-one with me, you know?
So some good onboarding so they can understand how to use it. Yeah.
Totally.
I love that.
And it's been really fun to talk to people about it because
I bet.
Because you'll see, it's like today I had somebody who I was talking with and I just saw the lights turn on as we were talking, and because they actually bought the product. They bought it because they were like, I think this might be relevant to what I want, but I'm not completely sure. So they bought it kind of on a little bit of a gamble, and then scheduled the meeting with me and we talked about it. And he was sitting there describing the problem to me, and it was like exactly what I have solved here, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just sitting here and I'm just thinking, I'm like,
well, let me show you something.
He's gonna love this, right? Yeah. So then I showed it to him, and he was, you just saw his eyes light up. He was like, man, this opens up so many possibilities for me, you know. So it's cool. I'm really excited.
Show us your pricing structure.
Yes.
You must have a pricing page up there that you can show.
Oh yeah. For, you mean to buy it?
Yeah. If people are interested in becoming, like, using this on their own sites, how does that work?
Yeah. So so if you wanted to buy Siren, I have 3 different tiers. I'm priced pretty low right now,
I was
just
gonna
because
say that
I'm
looks
still it's aggressively low. Like
very very
I'm
affordable.
still very the value that I'm offering is a lot on this.
Does it renew at the regular price? That's the next question.
It does renew at the regular
Okay.
price, yes. So 59 for the first year, 79 thereafter.
Still very affordable.
Very affordable for sure.
Yeah.
It's not going to be priced like this forever for sure. It's just mostly I'm just trying to get the people who who can go on a limb, right, and try this out with me and use this product, and every integration I do, every feature I add, the plugin stabilizes just that much more.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, yeah, so the price is basic, plus, and pro. I do 1, 3, and 10 sites. I also offer a platform migration from other plugins if you're looking for that. So if you're an affiliate WP user or any of the other ones,
makes it easier than having to redo all that keyed entry, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I've had enough people take me up on that I'm like, oh crap, I got to build something to speed this up. but
So let me ask you another question, and I don't know the answer. So if okay. I'm asking a question you don't have a solution for yet, forgive me in advance. Well, there's 2 things that incentivize affiliates. One is the money that they make, right? But the other is the tools and resources that you give them to be able to market it well. Is that part of your dashboard yet, or is that something that's coming to be able to give them images and language to use, that kind of stuff?
So yes, that is definitely something that's coming, although it's so close to being solved without me, to be honest. I mean, between the block editor and the capabilities of plugins like Personalized WP or Restrict Content Pro, even there's all these different plugins out there that can
even Google Drive, quite honestly.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like it's one of those things. It's like this. There's so many different ways that can be solved really well without me needing to build a specific solution that I just haven't prioritized it. But I mean, as a practice, yeah, absolutely. There's so many resources. Like actually, I have a on my blog here. There's a right here, this guide. I have an affiliate. Well, that's not neat. Live is dynamic. Okay, so
yes, it is. So I didn't know we had a theme song for it though.
Yeah, no kidding. So anyway, this guide basically it's a campaign of things that I teach on how to grow your first affiliate program, how to find your first affiliates, how to help them and support them. And I think like in terms of what you're saying with that number 2 being the support and things like that, I think that is arguably more important, because I could tell you I'm going to pay you 100% of every sale that you generate, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can't sell it. 100% of zero is still 0, right? But if you go to a person and you say, hey, I'm going to pay you 25% or 30%, right, of my revenue. I am going to give you the resources. I have just developed and set up this thing. I'm going to give you the resources that you need. I'm going to do a live webinar for your audience, and I'm also going to offer you a coupon code that is specific for your audience only, that is really, really good. What do you think of that? That's a whole different ballgame, right?
Absolutely.
Because the conversation, those 2 numbers are those 2 things you're talking about: the assistance to be able to do it and the percentage. Those 2 things together are a multiplier, right? By themselves, either one of them, if either one of them 0, it's still not going to help. You're not getting any money. So if you can really help somebody, you're basically going to them and saying, hey, I want to give you a chunk of my money, or the money from these sales. I'm going to do a lot of the legwork. I'm just asking you to give me an opportunity to wow your audience, right? And if you come with that, with this humble, like I want to help, and I'm almost like a coach, like an assistant, you know what I mean? It really changes this dynamic. I think a lot of people tend to look at affiliates as numbers instead of people, and it's
about relationships.
Oh, absolutely. That's
I mean, I honestly think it's all about relationships. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, even my podcast is called Partnership, right? And it's literally because that's what this is all about. It's working
Mhm.
together. It's finding
I
people
mean,
who.
that kind of really went into your theme of the whole siren and mermaid
Oh
thing
yeah,
too. So
it
yeah,
did, didn't it? Yeah.
that was pretty nice. Yeah, I like that.
It couldn't have lined up better. I got partnership.fm, the domain, and I was like, "Are you
Oh,
kidding me?"
nice.
I was
Yeah,
like,
no, that's
"Yeah, that's
perfect.
mine. Yeah, I'm
That's
taking that.
perfect.
That is mine now. Thank you." So yeah.
You're gonna have me on your podcast now. You've
Oh
been on a
yes,
couple of mine.
yes. Yeah, I
We'll
know, I
talk later.
know.
We'll talk later.
Yes, that is.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the
So
screen off here so we can see
yes.
our faces again.
Yeah, sure.
A couple minutes left. If anybody has questions, I know there's always more people watching after the fact than live. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'd be happy to answer them before I let
Yeah.
Alex get on with the rest of his day. For sure. But yeah, so I've asked a lot of really good questions. So it's possible that I've asked all the questions there are to be asked at this point. I'm just
Nailed
really
it.
excited. I'm so good.
Totally.
But no, I'm super excited for you. I know this has been, like you said, a little ways in the making as far as road mapping to get to the point where you launch, get some feedback, start to get some activity around sales and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've been watching, as you know, I've been watching you the whole time, hoping for your success, of course.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And I know that, nobody builds a product and just walks away and says, oh, it's going to take care of itself right now. So you are hustling all the time. And like you said, adding more things, thinking about other ways to be successful with it and help your customers be successful with how they're using affiliate sales for sure.
100%. That's the theme between the podcast and the one-on-ones I'm doing and all of that. It's all about not only building this plugin, but also kind of challenging the notion that affiliate networks or affiliate systems are bad. Because I hear that there's such a stigma associated with it, and I really am. My goal is to challenge that and be like, no, this can be good. This can be honest. This can enrich the lives of your friends.
Affiliate sales are bad, but influencer marketing is where it's at.
Yeah. Right. No
joke. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just
my link in the bio.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
I might have something like that in one of my bios. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I mean, you should. No, you should totally. If I get value from it, who cares?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's sure. Definitely where I've been mentally though, is just like challenging that stigma and helping people understand how they can create partnerships that can change their lives and their partners' lives.
So when is your next vacation? Because it sounds like you might need one.
Oh, geez.
First we have WordCamp US, Michelle. I know exactly.
Yeah, right. No kidding. No kidding.
You will be at WordCamp US though, so if people so they want to do meetings one-on-one, is there a way for them to reach out to you to set up a one-on-one? Do you have something like that people can?
I don't have a way to do that, but I totally should. I've been scheduling some. I totally should. I have. Obviously, I have. They can reach out to me on X, on Twitter, or anything like that.
Sure.
Post status, of course. I'm in there all the time.
Yep.
Perhaps obnoxiously so.
I mean, if you're obnoxious, so am I. So no judgment there.
But I would love to schedule some one-on-ones, and now I'm going to be chewing on that for the rest of the day, and you might see a tweet from me that just says, hey, schedule a one-on-one with me.
I may have a calendar link for that already set up for myself, so yes,
there it is.
I would strongly encourage it. Yes, for
That's
sure.
A great idea. Yeah, I'm there for a full week. I learned everybody starts showing up a week beforehand, so no kidding.
Exactly. Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for being here. Before I go, I want to let people know who's coming up next week. And I know you'll want to be tuned in for this one. Next week, we're going to have Marcus Burnett here to talk about the WP World. Since he launched that, is your mind blown by all the stuff he adds?
It's insane.
The WP World?
It is insane. How much
he should change it from the WP World to like the WP Universe, I think,
because
there's so much baked into that. So I'm really looking forward to.
It went from like this. It went from like a map of everybody in WordPress to. Like a job board almost. Like it is.
Insane.
I'll butcher any description of it, but it has.
Do you know what the actual origin of it was? Because I do.
I don't. What?
So he lives in Florida, where there's a lot of people who are impacted by hurricanes and weather. And
Yeah.
so he wanted to create just a spreadsheet of people in the Florida area that could check in on each other and make sure they were okay in those situations. And that turned into the map, which turned into the WP World, which is now worldwide, not just Florida. Isn't that cool?
That's wild. That is so cool.
It's just another example of seeing a need and finding a way to fill it, for sure.
Would have been great when I was traveling. Where am I going to stay?
Exactly. Like, who can I couch surf with now?
Yeah, no kidding. Gosh.
Next time.
Yeah, no kidding. Next time.
But, yeah, so we'll have an opportunity to chat with him next week. So hopefully you'll tune in for that, and everybody else will too. And then we will not have a happiness hour during WordCamp US because I'll be busy. So we'll return the week after that. I don't know who we'll have yet. We're still working on the schedule beyond that point, but we'll be there. Alex, any final words? Anything like you'd like to share that I forgot to ask you about?
Nope, I don't think so. Just come see me, ask questions on Twitter or whatever, and I'll be around.
Excellent. And I'm sure we'll be talking to each other between now and then, but I'll see you at WordCamp US for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you. Looking forward to it.
Me too. So thank you everybody else for being here. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week with Marcus Burnett on the WP, the Post Status Happiness Hour. I can't remember where I am today. That's how long a day it's been. We'll see y'all next week.